Welcome to your body, the home of the root chakra, Muladhara. Let's begin. Take a seat that is worthy of your reflection and intention to be both strong and calm. Sit in a way that feels comfortable, whether that's on the floor or even beginning on a chair. Let your tailbone anchor down, scooping the tailbone down into the earth to help yourself ground into this root chakra energy. Keeping the anchor of your tailbone strong, allow the rest of the spine just to float up towards the sky. Bring palms down on your lap, on your knees. And for just a moment, close the eyes or even look down. Notice your body as it is in this present moment, as best you can without trying to change anything or make it different. And without judging what you notice as being good or bad. Just acknowledge the body, noticing body temperature, energy levels, and scanning the body for areas that might be tight, tense, maybe even in pain. But also acknowledging those areas that are free from tension, that are free from pain. Take just a moment now to notice your thinking. Do the thoughts seem like they're coming in really quickly, almost like they're overlapping? Or are there pauses in between? As best you can, just notice. Now take a moment to acknowledge any emotions that might be present in this present moment. Is it easy to name what you're feeling? Or is the emotion a little more vague? And now observe your breath. Is the breath coming in quickly or slowly? Does the breath feel smooth or rough and choppy? Where in your body do you feel or sense the breath the most? Go ahead and release the check-in now with 3 letting go breaths. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale, open mouth. 2 more. Breathing in. And let it go. Last one. Breathing in. And let it go. Bring your thumb to baby finger together for focus 5. Push hard enough that you feel it, but not so much that it hurts. But use a little effort. That's part of the first chakra energy. That strong push, yet in a calm way, just enough. Not so much that you're hurting your fingers, just enough strength. And breathe in for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch thumb to ring finger. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch thumb to middle. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch thumb to pointer. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Thumbs up. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring your hands towards the sky, palms facing forwards instead of towards each other, forwards. And you can extend your arms up long. Then bring your hands to frame your heart, the energetic heart, not the physical heart. Palms towards each other. Then bring palms to your legs, palms down. Back to the heart, back to the sky. Heart, legs. And as we move our hands through these mudras, or hand positions, repeat silently or in your own head the phrase, I am here. So you can repeat that out loud or silently in your own head. I am here. I am here. I am here. I am here. Now, if you've just been thinking it, let's try 4 for the root chakra. 4 times out loud. 4 times whispered. 4 times just mouthing. 4 times silent. You may wish to close your eyes or keep a soft gaze. Let's begin. I am here. I am here. I am here. I am here. Whispered. I am here. I am here. I am here. I am here. Mouth. Silently now. Pause at the end and bring your hands to the legs, part of the foundation of our root chakra, the tailbone, the legs, and the feet. Take a moment to notice the after effects from our opening warm-ups, opening meditations, and grounding tools. Let us enhance the power of our practice with the sacred sounds of the root chakra. We'll begin with the activating sound, Lam, followed by the resonant or dissipating sound, O. 3 times, one after the other. Breathe in and breathe out. And now breathe in to chant. Pause for just a moment. Notice the after effects. Now let's get a little more physical. The root chakra is represented by the whole body, but especially the tailbone, legs, and feet. And in fact, our feet are such a vital part of all first chakra yoga poses. Whenever we're standing or on our feet, we want to really make sure we're activating the foot and using it well, right? The foot makes up the foundation of the rest of the pose. in standing poses. So we really want to make sure that we're setting up our foundation well. Let's begin just by opening up the feet with a foot therapeutic. Sitting however it feels comfortable in a way that you can actually hold your foot. You can do this on a chair. You could lie down if you prefer. But find a way to hold your foot so that you can interlace your fingers in between your toes. Now, it can be hard, especially first thing in the morning sometimes, to get those fingers in the toes. Be sure you're not going into a place of pain here, okay? Only put the fingers in between the toes as much as feels comfortable for you. And know that the more you do this one, the more open your feet will become, and it will get easier. I know the first time I tried it, it was really, really painful. And now sometimes there's some little twinges, but it's not painful anymore. So be sure that you're backing off. Once your fingers are there, go ahead and squeeze your toes into your fingers, breathing in. And as you breathe out, push your fingers away, trying to spread the toes more. Breathing out. Breathing in, squeeze the toes into your fingers. Breathing out, spread them apart. One more time. Breathing in, squeeze. And breathing out, send them apart. Nice. Okay, now take your toes and bend them forward and backwards. Breathing in as you bend forward. Breathing out backwards. One more time, breathing in, breathing out. And now give yourself a little yoga handshake, foot handshake. Nice. Yeah, release the fingers. Take a fist and now pound the bottom of your foot. Really wake up the whole bottom of your foot. Getting into the arches. All the places. And then release that foot and just notice the difference between your 2 feet, if any, at this point. But I definitely feel more open in the foot I just used. So let's go ahead and open up the other foot. Once again, interlace your fingers in between your toes. Getting them in there. All right, and here we go. Let's begin by inhale, squeeze the toes into your fingers. Exhale, push the toes apart with your fingers. Inhaling, squeeze. Exhale, push apart. Last time, inhale, squeeze. And exhale, push apart. Awesome. Go ahead and inhale. Now bend the toes forwards. Exhale, bend them back. Inhale, forwards. And exhale, back. Last time, breathing in. And breathing out. Give yourself that yoga handshake. Release the fingers, make a fist, and pound the whole area of the bottom of the foot. Wake it up. Energize it. And then release the foot. Notice the sensation from those foot therapeutics. And go ahead and join me standing now. Come into mountain pose. Feet hip width apart, so not too wide, not too close together, but hip width. Take a look down at your toes. Make sure all 10 toes are pointing forwards. And then let's find our foundation with a little more precision. I'm just going to show you. You don't have to do this with me, but I want you to see, let me come a little closer. I want you to see the 4 corners of my foot. So we've got the big toe mound, the inner heel, the baby toe mound, and the outer heel. When you root down those 4 corners into the earth, you'll feel your arches lift. You'll feel the legs engage and get strong. So let's try that. Go ahead and really root down the big toe mounds, as if you were sending them down like the roots of a tree into the ground. Keeping that, as if you had webbed feet, like reach back now and find the inner heels. Keeping both of those two corners rooting down, reach across now to find the baby toe mounds. And then finally the outer heels. Now notice if when you're rooting down those four corners, if you've locked your knees back, unlock the knees, keep them soft, but keep rooting those four corners down so much that you feel your legs engage. This is part of the power of the root chakra, is developing strength. You can practice strength even just standing. And you don't have to be very obvious about the fact that you're doing a standing mountain pose. You can apply this technique even if you're wearing shoes. You can apply this technique while standing in line at the grocery store. But go ahead and really feel your feet strengthen here. Now let's build on a little to mountain pose. Now that we've got the foundation of our feet, I want you to think of this alignment hack that is going to be used in every other pose afterwards. It's represented by the game rock, paper, scissors. So when I say rock your feet, what I mean is those four corners we just learned. I don't mean rock back and forth, because that's very unstable, right? That's not steady. Root chakra energy is about being steady. So rock your feet. Paper refers to the torso of our body. So from hips up to your armpits, or hips to pits, grow long and wide, like a crisp sheet of paper, instead of letting it be crumpled, getting stuck in the printer, right? Normally our torsos aren't so crisp and wide. So go ahead and paper the body. And now this final action is the real oomph to our root chakra strengthening practice. Scissors. Begin by thinking of your legs as like the blades of a pair of scissors. Scissor them towards each other as if you were trying to bring them together, but don't let them move. Don't let the knees move either. Keep the knees in place. So this is actually an isometric movement. Everything is staying still, but the muscles are moving towards each other like magnets. You can also do this in the back body just a little bit with your shoulder blades, by gently bringing the tips of these shoulder blades towards each other. Now, if you're anything like me, you might do it too much and let your ribs flare forward. Keep your ribs tucked in. We still want the front of the body and the back body to be equal. So when you scissor those shoulder blades, just make sure that front and back body are still equal in length and that you're not shortening the back body by bringing the shoulder blades too much together. Rock the feet, paper the body, scissor the legs, scissor the shoulder blades, and breathe. Feel strong or strengthening and calm or calming. Let's see how this applies to a balancing sequence. Standing balancing poses are a powerful way to really practice the energies of the root chakra, to be strong and calm. And they're particularly useful for strengthening the legs. Let's go ahead and shift your weight over to your let's do your right foot. Turn your left knee out and bring the sole of your left foot right up against your inner ankle. Ball of the foot still on the ground. Baby tree. Or you can bring your foot up against your inner calf below the knee, mid-tree. Or you may wish to help your foot up all the way up to your upper inner thigh, above the knee, high tree. Whichever variation you choose is the right one for you, and it's okay to go back and forth between variations. Our balance is different day to day, and that's okay. Just make sure that wherever you've decided to place your foot, that you're not placing it on the knee. That will create injuries, or at least pain. So find your foot position. Find your hands at heart center or on the waist. Then go ahead and let's apply that alignment hack. Rock your standing foot without locking the knee. Keep the knee soft. Root down through those four corners of the standing foot. Paper the body, grow long and wide from hips to armpits. And now scissor legs towards each other. Push foot into leg and leg back into foot as if they were feet. Scissor hands towards each other. Notice how this scissoring action and the foundation of the four corners of your foot are helping with balance. Let's find one more breath here. Now go ahead and bring this left foot now, left knee, cross it over top of the right knee and bring the left foot to the ground. Let's prepare for eagle pose. Squat deeply and squeeze your thighs together as if you had to go to the bathroom really bad. Open up the arms. Cross your right elbow over the left. Bend at the elbows and try to bring the backs of the hands towards each other. They might not touch, that's okay, they might be out here. Just keep sending the energy towards each other. Or they might actually touch. You might be able to get the backs of your hands to touch. Or perhaps keep twisting and find palms together. Raise elbows up in line with shoulders and send hands away from your face. You can choose to keep that left foot on the ground or pick it up and let it hang. Or, as best you can, wrap the foot around behind the calf. Squat deeper. Rock your standing foot now. Find those four corners. Paper the body. Scissor legs, scissor arms, and breathe. Strong and calm. Now go ahead and untwist the arms, open them wide. Untwist the legs, send it behind you. It's okay if you need to take a little break. Otherwise, go ahead, send that leg right behind you now as you lean forward with your torso, coming into Warrior 3. You can send your arms forward or to the sides. Keep rooting down through your standing foot. Rock that foot. Paper the body, grow long and wide. Scissor your shoulder blades. And even though this back foot is extending behind you, scissor the legs here towards each other just to engage the muscles. This is how you keep strong in the pose. This will also help with balance. One more breath in here. One more breath out. Woo. And come out as needed. Now that's a big, long practice for one leg, one foot. Take a moment here in the middle to pause. Notice the difference between right and left sides of the body. And now let's do everything again on the other foot. Just a little note, this particular leg sequence, standing balancing sequence we're doing, is what I used to train for a big bike trip I was doing almost 2 decades ago now through Southeast Asia. So it's a fantastic strengthening sequence. If you're finding it hard this first time through, know that's normal. It'll get easier the more you do it. So here we go. Shift your weight to your left foot now. Turn your right knee out. Bring your right foot into baby, medium, or high tree. Your choice. Hands at the waist or at your heart. Rock your standing foot. Paper the body, grow long and wide. And scissor into yourself. Scissor foot into leg and leg back into foot. Scissor hands towards each other in the midline. Scissor shoulder blades towards each other. Scissor in as if you were really honoring your strength. We can honor our strength by letting ourselves practice it. Breathe. Strong and calm. Now go ahead and take your right knee now, cross it over the left, bringing the right foot either onto the ground or perhaps letting it hang, or maybe wrapping it behind the left calf. Inhale, arms up, cross left elbow over right. Bend at the elbows, bringing backs of the hands together or towards each other, or perhaps even finding the palms. Crouch deep. Lift elbows up. Send hands away from the face. Rock your standing foot. Paper the body. Scissor these legs. Scissor these arms to help with balance. And breathe. Strong and calm. Untwist the arms, untwist the legs, send that leg behind you. Leaning forward now into warrior 3. Arms out to the sides or forwards. Flex your back foot as if you were bringing your toes towards your nose. So don't point the toes. Not the pointing, but a flex. Rock, paper, scissors, breathe. And then go ahead and inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring hands to heart. Take a moment here to pause. Breathe. Notice what it feels like for you as you work with this balance of strong, calm, of work and relaxation. Now let's take just a pause for a moment to do a shoulder therapeutic. Interlace your fingers behind your back. You might find that the fingers are, that the palms are together or apart. Honor what works in your body. Let the elbows start bent. Notice if your shoulders are really rounding forward. Let's rock the feet. Find those four corners without locking the knees. Rock the feet. Paper the body here. Grow long and wide from hips to armpits. And then draw those shoulders up and back to scissor the shoulder blades. Scissor the legs. Breathe in here. Notice if your head's popped forward a bit. Keep drawing your head in line with your heart and with your feet. This might already be quite an intense stretch in your shoulders and even across the chest. Stay here if it's quite a bit of a challenge. Only if you need more, go ahead and begin to straighten the elbows, lifting the fists up behind you. Straightening them any amount. They may not straighten completely. That's okay. Honor where where your body is. We can really overdo this shoulder therapeutic. Remember, this one's meant to be a therapeutic, so don't push yourself into an area of pain. Breathe deeply. And then go ahead and release the hands. Notice the relaxation from after that therapeutic. And now go ahead and interlace your fingers, crossing them again. Notice what you just naturally did there. Notice which thumb is on top. And now I want you to switch the entire interlacing of your fingers. So not just the thumb, but all the fingers. Switch them so now the thumb's in the opposite spot. The other thumb is on top. It'll feel weird. It won't feel natural to you. That's okay. When we practice both sides of the body, we're more able to bring both sides of the body and mind into balance. Once again, rock your feet, paper the body, draw shoulders up and back, scissor shoulder blades, scissor the legs, and now go ahead and with head in line with heart and feet. Maybe stay here while you breathe, or once again begin to straighten the elbows any amount. Deep breaths here. Go ahead and release the fingers. And notice the after effects from that shoulder therapeutic. All right, let's get a little more strong and calm in the core. So you'll need an exercise ball for this particular core exercise. I have not found anything else that works as well as the exercise ball for the core. If you don't have one today, that's okay. Feel free to do your own favorite core practice. Otherwise, join me on the ball now. So sitting on the ball, plant your feet just hip-width apart. Rock your feet, paper the body, scissor the legs. Notice how we always repeat that rock, paper, scissors. Repetition, consistency are part of balancing your root chakra. Sometimes this repetition can feel a little like boring. Sometimes setting up the foundational things in our life are a little more boring. But they're necessary components to make everything else flow well. If you struggle to keep organized, to keep stable and consistent in your life, you can practice it in the body first. That's part of why we do the practice of yoga. So here we go. Rock the feet, paper the body, scissor the legs. And I'm just going to show you from the side for a moment. Rock, paper, scissors. And now go ahead and rock forward, tilting your tailbone down more, and then rock backwards, tilting the tailbone up. There we go. Find a way to sync your breath with this movement in a way that works for you. And let's just do 10 of these for this practice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a little mini breath break. Now, if that wasn't doing too much for your core, it's simply a sign that you're not going forward or backwards enough. And it's especially the forward action that is really going to activate the core. So let's do one more round of 10 and really focus on that rooting the tailbone down as you come forward to activate the core. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, paper, scissors. Inhale, body long. Exhale, just reach over to one side as if you were trying to touch the ground. Inhale, back up. Exhale, other side. Now, if you're not using the core muscles, you'll likely move over with the ball side to side. Don't let the ball move. Keep rock your feet. Keep scissoring the legs, papering the body. Exhale and go only as far as you can. And then inhale back up. Exhale to the other side. Engage the core. Here we go. Let's do 5 more of these. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 more. 5 and take a little mini breath break. And now this one's my favorite, figure 8. So bring your hands to your hips and begin by just, if you're finding figure 8s are hard to do, think of starting with your left hip and making like a C shape. And then with your right hip, oh, you know what? I forgot a step. Sorry, let's begin just with circles. Here we go. We'll get to the figure 8s. Just find some circles here. Keeping your feet rocking. Keeping the body long. Paper the body. Scissoring the legs. And let's find maybe 10 to each side. So let's just do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And switch direction of your circle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Are you breathing? 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, so now we've done circles both sides. Now it'll be a little easier to find those figure 8s. So we've got the left hip finding the C shape for part of the figure 8. Then the right hip finding the other part, even as you continue to go back. And then keep up with the right hip and then the left. This one's a funny one to explain on video. As best you can, find that figure 8 motion of your hips. Let's see if I show you from the side what it looks like. Keep breathing. Notice which direction you're going with your figure 8s. So like notice which way you're starting your figure 8. And now let's switch direction. So now go the other way. Breathing deeply. And now take a moment to pause. Catch your breath. Feel the strengthening effects in your core. And if this practice is new to you, you might be feeling it a little extra today. Know that the more you use this particular tool, the easier it gets. And the strengthening of the core affects the whole body. Go ahead now and roll down onto the ball so that the ball is right underneath your shoulders and neck and head. Keep your feet hip width apart And really lift your buttocks up instead of allowing them to cave here. Scoop your tailbone down. Rock your feet. Paper the body. Scissor the legs. This is a fantastic strengthening exercise for the glutes. Keep scooping the tailbone and imagine lifting your pelvis up. If you have knee pain here, that's a sign you just need to back off the bend of your knees. Just to give yourself something to do, and it's also a nice opening for the upper back. A bit of a therapeutic here while we're strengthening the glutes. Bring your hands up towards the sky, palms together. Inhale the hands back behind you. Exhale back up. Let's just do 5 more of these. Breathing in, breathing out. Scoop that tailbone. Breathing in, breathing out. 3 more. Breathing in, breathing out. Keep strong. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Breathing in and breathing out. Roll yourself back up and take a moment to notice the after effects from the core and glute strengthening practice. All right, you can move the ball to the side. And let's come on to hands and knees now. Now, I really like to pad my knees. So I'm going to grab a little blanket here. And go ahead and place your knees on a bit of padding. And bring your hands to the ground. Setting up the foundation is key for the root chakra. So go ahead and find your knees hip width apart and just about under the hips or even slightly behind the hips. Find your hands shoulder width apart, slightly ahead of the shoulders instead of behind. Take a look down at your wrist creases. Make sure that the wrist creases are actually parallel to the front of your mat, that the wrists aren't turning out or in, but that they're right forward, parallel. Spread your fingers wide, and now just like the feet had 4 corners, so do the hands. Find your pointer finger mound, baby finger mound, thumb mound, and outer wrist. Root those 4 corners down, keeping a little bit of space right in the palm itself. Notice how likely one of your corners doesn't want to root down as much as the others. That's okay. For a lot of us, it's our pointer finger. If you tend to have thumb issues like I do, make sure that the thumb isn't doing all the work. In fact, you might even want to back off the thumb mound and really find the outer baby finger mound and outer wrist. Keeping all those 4 corners rooting down, claw the mat with your finger pads. These fleshy bits underneath the fingernails, claw down as if you had claws. Good. So here we go. Now we're rocking the hands. Paper the body. Scissor the arms, scissor the shoulder blades, and even the legs. Table pose is a fantastic strengthener for the whole body, but especially the arms, wrists, hands, and shoulders. Now, oftentimes I might see a bit of this happening. Look at what's happened to my body. My body's become shorter. Keep papering the body, growing long and wide. Rock the hands, paper the body, scissor the arms, scissor the shoulder blades, and breathe. Hold table pose for 3 to 5 breaths. You're welcome to stay with table pose on its own or take a little break, Or if you'd like an extra arm strengthener, go ahead and take your hands just slightly forward even more. Take your knees slightly behind, a little more, coming into half plank. Toes tucked under. Rock your hands, paper the body, scissor the arms. Keep drawing shoulders up and back here. And now bend your elbows back, right? As if you were trying to bring them to the ground, but keep your torso in place. So just have that little mini bend of the elbows while keeping your shoulders lifted. Don't let your shoulders cave down. That's it, and then push back up. Mini elbow bend and push back up. Instead of letting the elbows go to the sides like a normal push-up, this is the yoga push-up, bringing your elbows down while keeping the chest lifted. And back up. 2 more. Now I like to breathe in as I lower down and breathe out as I rise back up. And if you'd like a little extra strengthening, find plank pose. Lift your knees up off the ground. Rock your hands. Paper the whole body from the heels all the way to the crown of the head this time. Scissor arms and maybe a little elbow bend. Just a little one, keeping the shoulders lifted up and back. Nice. Take knees wide, big toes touching. Take a little mini break here in child's pose. Bringing fists to the ground to rest your head, or perhaps resting forehead on the ground. Deep breaths in child's pose. Go ahead and from child's pose, use your hands to help yourself walk back up. And let's do a little therapeutic for the hands. That was a lot of work for the wrists and the hands. So begin by taking your hands the other way. Bring the backs of your hands to the ground. Yeah, and you can play with the distance, how far away from you they are, or how close to the body. Where does it feel like a stretch for you? Breathing deeply here. And then go ahead and again place palms down and then back off. Make fists. Just give some circles with the wrists. And then the other way. Great. Go ahead and make little claw shapes or even snake heads with your hands. Breathe in here and try to bring your fingers towards your own wrist. Then breathe out and push the hands away. Breathe in, snake hits. Breathe out, push away. One more time, breathing in and breathing out. Good. How about a little shake? Shake the hands out. You can shake them up and down. I'll slow it down for a second. Or side to side. Try both ways. And give these hands a little therapeutics and love. All right. Let's lie on down on our back for some more therapeutics. Keep your knees bent, feet on the floor. And take a moment just to enjoy the feeling of the ground underneath you. Let yourself take in the support of the ground, the security of the ground. Keep your left foot on the ground, but pick up the right and cross the right ankle over the left knee. Flex your foot, drawing toes towards your knee, and especially flex the baby toe edge part of your foot. If you're anything like me, the foot kind of wants to sickle in. Keep drawing the outer edge of your foot back. Then send the knee away from your face. Now, it's okay, the knee might be towards the face. Just keep sending it away to help open the hip for this hip therapeutic of figure 4 pose. Rock your foot and rock the whole back body now, including the back of your head. The whole back body is now part of our foundation. So rock every part of the body that is in contact with the floor. Paper the body, still grow long from hips to pits. And now scissor the legs towards each other and notice if that helps open up your hip a little bit more. Notice if by scissoring in, you can actually release the knee away from the face. Breathe. Now, although you can lift the left foot up to deepen the stretch, and you're welcome to do that if your body's really asking for that, honor that. However, because it's the root chakra, you may just want to keep that left foot grounded and let it be a gentler version. Keep sending the right knee away from the face and breathing deeply. Good. Go ahead now, and while still flexing that right foot, pick it up off the knee and bring it to the ground. Rock the right foot now as you pick up the left foot. Cross the left foot up over top of the right knee. Flex the toes towards your knee, and especially draw the outer edge, the baby toe edge of your left foot. Draw it towards the knee as well, opening up the foot. Rock the foundation. Rock your right foot, back body, back of the head. You could even bring your hands to the ground, rock the hands. Paper the body. And as you scissor the legs, see if that scissoring action helps take your left knee a little further away from your face, a little further towards the front of the mat. Breathe deeply here. One more full breath in and out. While keeping the flex in your foot, pick up that foot and bring it back to the ground. Take your feet as wide as the edge of your mat for a lovely therapeutic for the low back. Gentle reclining twist. Bring your arms up towards the sky. Bend the elbows and clasp each elbow with the opposite hand. Breathe in here, and as you breathe out, take your elbows all the way to the left while you take your knees all the way over to the right. Inhale back up to center, and exhale now go in the opposite direction. Inhaling center. Exhaling to the side. Inhaling center. Exhale to the sides. Because this is a therapeutic, I invite you to keep your head looking in the same direction as your elbows instead of the opposite. Or you may wish to just let your head stay looking up towards the ceiling. Choose which one feels best for your body in this moment. How about 2 more to each side? And after your last one, just take a moment to hug knees into chest. Pause here. Perhaps rolling back and forth on the back body, giving the back body a gentle massage, or perhaps holding this little boat pose still and steady. Strong and calm. Go ahead and gently roll back up seated. And I invite you now to repeat the foot therapeutic we did at the beginning of class to see if there's been any change to the end. Find a favorite foot. Go ahead and interlace your fingers in between your toes. Inhale, squeeze toes into fingers. Exhale, spread toes apart. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, spread apart. One more time. Inhale, bring the toes forwards. Exhale, take the toes back. Inhale, forwards and back. One more time. Give your feet a yoga handshake. And then using a fist, go ahead and pound the bottom of your feet once more. Other foot. Interlace your fingers in between your toes. Inhale, squeeze toes together. Exhale, spread apart. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, spread. One more time. Inhale. Take your toes backwards. Exhale, forwards. Inhale, backwards. Exhale, forwards. One more time. Give yourself a yoga handshake. And using your fist, pound the bottom of the feet. And release. Legs up the wall and or full restorative pose. So if you know that legs up the wall isn't appropriate for you, so for example, if you're on your moon cycle, or if you have issues with your blood pressure, you may not wish to do legs up the wall. You might want to come right into full restorative rest pose. Bringing a bolster, pillow, or blanket to rest under your knees. And lying back with a blanket under the head or a blanket over the body. You got my alarm in there with you. When you come into full restorative rest pose, let your palms rest up towards the sky, opening up to the receiving of rejuvenation and rest. If rest pose isn't comfortable for your body, if there's any discomfort in the lower back, I invite you to instead keep your knees bent, feet on the floor, but take your feet wide, letting the knees rest in towards each other in the center. Palms up. And if you're open and up for a little bit of legs up the wall, I'm just going to tilt the camera angle slightly. There we go. And you may choose to do your final rest pose here in legs up the wall instead. To come into legs up the wall, bring one of your hips right up against the wall. Bring your elbows back behind you. And then swing yourself around so that your legs are actually right up on the wall. It's a little awkward to get into, but once you're there, it feels amazing. You can put your feet right on the wall to lift your hips up if you found that you need to get a little closer, and then walk on your elbows. But try to get your buttocks right up against the wall and your legs right up against the wall, letting the feet flop out to the sides. If this is too big of a stretch on the backs of the legs, it is okay to be a little further away from the wall. You may wish to bring a blanket under the head or even a blanket over the body. And if you happen to have an eye pillow at home, it can be nice to use an eye pillow here. Once again, palms face up, bringing the arms just slightly away from the body. And whichever variation you're choosing, legs up the wall, constructive rest pose, or full reclining rest pose, your only job now is to settle down into the support of the ground, to allow yourself to be nourished, comforted, rejuvenated. It's really important not to skip this final resting pose, because this is where your body and mind integrate the effects of your practice. While in your resting pose, bring thumb to baby finger together. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch thumb to ring. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch thumb to middle. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch thumb to pointer. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Thumbs up. Breathing in, breathing out. While you rest here in legs up the wall, constructive rest pose or full rest pose, I will now play the sacred sound of the drum, giving you a root chakra drum beat. Just 2 or 3 minutes here in rest pose. Let your body continue to sink down into the ground. Help yourself initiate that relaxation response with 3 letting go breaths. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale, open mouth. Breathing in. And breathing out. Last one, breathing in and breathing out. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Slowly pause first. Notice the effects of a root chakra practice on you, on your body, on your thoughts, on your emotions, on your breath, on your spirit. If you're in legs up the wall, take a moment to bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees flop out to the sides. And then draw knees in towards your chest. Roll over to the right and hang out here in fetal position. If you were in restorative, full reclining rest pose, or even constructive rest pose, take a moment to hug your knees into your chest. And roll over onto your right side, coming into fetal position. And then use your hands to help yourself back up to seated. As you're coming out of these poses, you may wish to do a few little extra stretches. You may wish to do a little bit of wrist and ankle rotations. Feel free to do any last little movements that feel nice for you. And as you're ready, let us close with I am here. I am here. I am here. I am here. Whispered. I am here. I am here. I am here. I am here. Just mouth. Silently. Bring your palms to your legs, palms down. Breathe. notice the strong, calm energies building within. Know that the body is your home. It is your grounding place. It is your place of consistency, stability, and security. By working with your body, you can strengthen all areas of your life and bring that calm, strong peace within. Thank you for joining me in this full Root Chakra bonus class, and stay tuned for lots more goodies. The light in me meets the light in